Some of you have been here a while now and might know that I'm a pretty lazy man. But how on earth can you have a healthy diet that's also easy and convenient? Well, if you live in the US, it is your lucky day because I've got the perfect solution for you. Factor offers you the chance to get fresh, ready-made meals delivered directly to your doorstep. They're never frozen, they're full of high quality ingredients and packed with nutritional value too. It even offers meals for those following different lifestyles and diets. So what are you waiting for? Go and click that lovely link at the top of the description now. You'll get plenty of money off your first order with Factor and some off the few after too. You'd be a fool to miss out on an opportunity like that. Well, I've got a feeling today's episode is going to be a story of dilemmas. Firstly, we are back for the Nations League semi-final, a huge game against France as we chase our first trophy. But weirdly, it's been played at one of the strangest venues you can imagine. And we've also, on the morning of it, got a very big distraction. Let's go and see what it is. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 102 of the Head Coach with me, Daniel. We are back today, as we mentioned, for the Nations League semi-final, hopefully followed by a final if all goes to plan. But first and foremost, we have been given a big distraction on the morning of the game. I'm sure you can work out what it is. I'll get your opinion on it, of course, in a minute. And we're also playing a game at a very strange stadium. You can see it here. It's at home, which is a benefit. Instead of playing at Wembley, we are playing at the Watford Stadium, a 38,000 capacity that's been built in Watford. Why on earth would we be playing at a small stadium in England and what is a relatively small place compared to a lot of the big city ones? It doesn't quite seem sensible, but we're not going to worry about that for now. If you're looking forward to seeing the distraction, seeing us chase a trophy via the semi-final and hopefully final, and see how we've been getting on in Euros qualifying and what players have been introduced to the England squad, then please do put a thumbs up on it. We've got a few new debutants in the team this year. We've got a few players that are starting to break through, and it feels like that changing of the guard is gradually continuing. First though, let me show you the schedule for what's been happening since you were last here. We've played 2 qualifying games in the European qualifiers this time around, and we have won them both very comfortably. We've got a really easy group on paper. Ukraine were the bottom of the second seeds. We've drawn them in a home and away fixture. I might show the away one, depending on how we're going. And we've also drawn the likes of Andorra, Cyprus and Bosnia, all of whom I'd expect to beat comfortably. But in the meantime, we won 10-0 at Andorra. A double hat-trick for Tezgel. It was an easy game for him. Devine scored. Chris Lewis, our former Palace player, got a brace. And Daniel Williams on debut, the Bayern Munich winger, got himself a goal. He played in that squad and we brought another new face in for this one. Against Ukraine, a 4-0 win. Hodgkinson scored a late screamer, but the game was already won thanks to goals from Tezgel, Lewis and Devine again. And then a friendly last week against South Korea. A Chris Lewis hat-trick as we rotated the full 11. And does anyone spot the next New England name there? It's another former Palace player, and it was the one just behind Williams, but was playing regularly and playing well in the Premier League. So Ben Hames was the man to come in. Another man we've managed before. You can see at the bottom of the screen, his Premier League record was excellent. I had no reason not to give him the chance, and he did really well with it. So that was a great day for us because he got on. We got to bring Usman back in. We tried to bring a bit of youth into the setup again, and it kept everyone rested for this big game against France. Of course, in the middle of the summer, it makes it a bit harder for match sharpness and fitness and things like that. But of course, it's exactly the same for both sides. For us, it is all about trying to get to the final. I don't want to judge us on this competition because England have won it plenty of times in this save, and it's not going to be something that defines our career, but it is an opportunity for us nonetheless. That game is in, 10.5 hours? But before then, we have been given a bit of a dilemma because if we go and have a look at the inbox, we have been offered a job interview for a job that we have not applied for, and it is an elite club management opportunity at Liverpool. Now, I've got my reservations here, and I'll show you why in a second, because we've played against them in the recent years with Palace, and they've not been brilliant, albeit they've had one player who's been a bogeyman for us. But on the flip side of that, they are a bit like the Atletico Madrid of England in this save, in the sense that they have got an extremely old squad. They've not really brought through any talent. They've not been able to regenerate. And you're sort of seeing what you're seeing with them in real life now, where a lot of players are edging over 30, are just past the peak of their powers, and have not been able to regenerate in time. So it seems the business model hasn't changed from Liverpool, albeit the 4 or 5 younger players they've got in that squad are remarkable. There are a lot of older ones. There's a very familiar name for us, or a couple in fact, with Hassiful Clousdale, who is our current right winger. Rio Williams is an option for us. Tezgel's in there too, as is Divine Harvey Elliott. And further down, there are players who are contracted for another year who are well past their prime. And that is going to be a big problem if we take this job. I do feel like you're not going to get these opportunities very often. I don't think I've ever managed Liverpool in a head coach before. Someone might be able to correct me. And it's not a chance that's going to come around. The thinking I've got here is if we stay with England and we don't win the Euros, which there's every possibility, there's 4 or 5 very good sides, will we then get the chance to go to a club at this level? I don't know. It's another one of those where I'm going to need your thoughts down in the comments. I won't imagine we'll get a job offer today, but we're going to go and attend the interview because we'd be stupid not to listen. So let's go. It's great to be here. We're happy to get started. I can't hide the fact I don't have the experience. No, I want to work up the right opportunity, and this is the one. Do you not think managing England's a big enough job for you? I guess at club level, we've not managed this big. What impact do you think your role in international management will have on your duties here? Well, look, I'm going to be fair here, and we said it with the Palace job. We're going to be realistic. We've got to do one or the other. You guys will tell me which one I should do because this is a proper elite opportunity. But I'm going to say I'm prepared to resign and focus solely on my club commitments if need be. Are we going to get a strong dressing room atmosphere every time? What was the last time we had a revolt? 11 years ago? 10 years ago? Whenever Peterborough Sports was. We'll get a positive atmosphere. Do you think we'll meet expectations? I've got a great record for it. I want to be a long-term success here. Of course I do. Happy to work with a director of football. A long-term vision for a side that finished 8th in the Premier League will be tasked with bringing this to life. What is it? We have got recognised as best of the rest. Wow, you have got big ambitions. I mean, that sounds good, but how on earth do we get that club there next year? I'm not quite sure. Not that I can think of. I don't think we've got any requests for the club. But they have finished 8th. Are they in Europe at all? They're in the Conference League, right? I'm kind of leaning towards taking this job. So I don't feel the opportunity comes up too often. And if we could finish maybe in the next week by winning the Nations League with England, I can at least say I've succeeded. It's probably the easiest tournament to win, and we've only got 2 big games to do it. So maybe that will influence my decision as well. If we win a trophy this week, do I then say, actually, it's all right, we can go now? Let me know your thoughts on all of it down in the comments, because I'm really intrigued to see what happens. Spurs have won the Premier League, by the way. They rejected us for Pep Guardiola, and they look right for doing it now, don't they? And Palace missed out on Europe by a point, but we'll look back at that at the next bookmark. Let's go and see, though, if we can get our trophy with England. It is France tonight in the Nations League semi-final. We'll be back in a minute for kickoff. Here we go then, our biggest game in charge so far, and some big injury news ahead of it as well. At right back, we are missing our best defender, which is Tommy Stansfield from Manchester City. He's picked up a knock which keeps him out all summer. I was about to say we're continuing the Ocon experiment in the middle, but we're not. I'm going for Hodgkinson because he's really impressed me when he's played. I'm also going for Kelleher, my former player at left back. He's the first choice left back for the champions of most years, and they finished second this season, City. He's a good footballer. One tactical change as well. Elijah Smith is the goalkeeper, not a sweeper keeper. We'll drop to positive against France. We don't want to be too aggressive. Livramento and Kelleher the fullbacks with Roberts and Parsons in the middle. Bellingham and Hodgkinson the midfield too. Devine ahead of them. Saka and Clousdale either side. And Emre Tezgel, goal scoring extraordinaire for England up front. If we get the Liverpool job, he'll be doing the same for them next year, let me tell you that. Well, a few changes for France, who played a friendly last week as well. And of course, 2 very familiar names in their team. Fofana at centre-half and Camavinga in midfield, both early 30s and stars of this team. But have a look at the French left-back as well, because Hugo Esnol, our former player at Palace, replaced Kelleher, didn't he, out there? He is the man who is starting for France. We know how good he is. They've got quality on the bench, but it's a much younger French side than it is an English one. We've been trying to help that along the way. I'm not sure it'll be enough in this one. 2 evenly matched sides, it could be an absolute barnstormer. We're at a tiny stadium, not in a city in England, but let's go and have a look, see how we get on in the first half, and whether we can get closer to winning the Nations League. Well, it's been a pretty quiet one so far, as with 10 minutes to the break, we're back for our first highlight here, and it's Saka nicking the ball high up the pitch. Chance to cross, there's 2 in the middle. Alfie Devine tries to be clever. And it's a good save by the goalkeeper. Corner kick England. Will be taken by Saka again, you would imagine. Loads of players in there. We've got height, we've got quality. And a set piece doesn't beat the first man. Aim for the far post, Bukayo. And that's what you've produced. Ridiculous. Left the ball because he's offside now. He's out for a goal kick. 10 to the break. Stays 0-0. I think you can see it's been a pretty even game. One shot on target each. Not a huge amount of attacking creativity. Couple of set pieces that have led to half chances. Hodgkinson, the man struggling in midfield, not really getting a foothold in this game. So I might make the change I was going to make from the start. I'm going to go back to Hodgkinson and I'm going to replace him with Henry Ocon. We've not really got that many options in there. Elliott's getting worse. Palmer can play number 10 and we can drop Devine, but he's had a very good year, but he's over the hill physically. There are limited options. It is an area where we're struggling. Bellingham's coming towards the end as well. Who comes in eventually, I don't know. It's been a very even match between two good sides. Does sort of show for the Euros and the World Cup. It's not a formality if we stay here. You would argue the French are slightly better if anything, but we've got the free kick here. Can we nick one as Ocon's got it? Takes it from about 30 yards out. Good angle on the left. Goes for the curler. It's a good save by the French keeper. Tips it behind for a corner. The pressure is still on. Saka will take it. Please beat the first man. I'm begging you. Takes it again. Oh my word. What is wrong with you, Bukayo? You are hitting the first man every time. Completely ignoring instruction or just taking awful corners. If he wasn't the best rated player on the pitch, he would have been off multiple times by now. I don't really understand how he's rated that well when he's doing that from corner kicks, as Livramento has just passed the ball away from a free kick. Is it the big game pressure that's a problem for this England team? We saw it in the World Cup against the Netherlands, didn't we? Conte losing his final game, and now the pressure's on again, and Camavinga curls it just wide of the post. Great effort from him. It's a very even match here. I don't know what to do. Do we stick or twist? It's a free kick for France. Jamal puts it in. Bellingham heads away, but there's no one there. And Ocon not able to stop the second ball. Cho comes down the right for France. Options in the middle. Plays in, but Parsons does well. Brings it away to Ocon. It's got a very sort of low-key vibe to it, hasn't it? Not got players that are fully fit. It's kind of showing late on. As Livramento into Bellingham. Wide to Clousdale. Need his magic. Could be our club manager soon. As Tezjo in. That is a great goal. And I tell you what, we're going to check VAR. I won't get excited yet. But that is a link-up we could be seeing a lot more of. They are two of Liverpool's players. The goal is confirmed. Do we want that link-up every weekend? That is the big question. 15 minutes to go. We're going to look at other changes. I know Tezjo's just scored up front, but Ocon's going up there. He's a good striker anyway. Tezjo will swap with Devine. And then in attacking midfield, it will be Cole Palmer. That is the second change. We've got one more to work with afterwards. Lewis scored a hat-trick last week in a friendly. South Korea top 20 opposition. It wasn't a small game. As Saka puts the free kick in back to the edge. That's clever. Palmer's there. Brilliant goal. Cole Palmer off the bench. And now I look like an absolute genius. I've taken off the goal-scoring striker, put on a number 10, and he's curled one into the bottom corner with a brilliant strike. We'll now make our third substitute. The options are really Williams or Elliott in centre midfield. Everyone's knackered. Livramento at right back is struggling. Do I bring on the youngster? I'm going to do it. Tally is going to come on for Livramento. Not exactly what we were expecting to do late in this game. But the final will be in just, 3 or 4 days' time. We don't want to have a completely knackered squad. We've not deserved to win this comfortably. It's been a pretty even match for the most part. We've taken chances. We've finished stronger. And at full time, it is England 2, France 0. The goals, particularly the first one, came largely from a Liverpool combination. Maybe something else to consider with our potential dilemma. But what on earth do we do for now? Because we might, regardless of whether we leave or not, finish with a trophy in England. We've got a chance in the Nations League final. Let's be back in a minute to find out who we're facing and whether or not we've got a job offer before it. Well, here it is then. The final takes place against Italy in a repeat of the real-life 2021 Euro final. Let's hope it ends better than that one for us. It's a big opportunity, but Italy always produce great regens in FM, so let's have a look at how many are in. Bit of a mix, isn't it? We've come to expect from Italy that they'd have experienced players, but this is perhaps a misleading squad because you look immediately and say, oh my word, there's 9 players over 30. But 3 of them are the goalkeepers. Bastoni and Tonali are right at the end. They're probably legends. You can see all of them are on the bench bar too. So I don't think we can really judge on that too much. They've got a very young squad generally. Palermo is an Arsenal player who is world class. I've seen him many a time score against me. I mean, this is a very good Italy team. They've done what they always do in FM. They bring through brilliant players. So this is going to be one hell of a test. They've had an extra day's rest. Tonali, who we mentioned, the old boy, 35, but he's fit. Look at him mentally, and he scored both of the goals for them. That is going to be a difficult one. No news on the Liverpool job yet. We didn't even get any sort of media talk after it, which is a little bit unusual. We go and have a look at the job centre at the minute. I don't believe we were favourite. No, it's Didier Deschamps, who is still at Bournemouth at the moment. The Man City job has come up, which would probably be one of the easiest. You could argue as well that they're coming towards the end of an era, but perhaps they've got a bit more of another era behind it. You can see a lot of good players in their mid-20s, including half of our England defence. My other concern at the minute is how fit our team's going to be tonight, because they had 4 days off, we've only had 3, and this is going to make it a bit of a decisive factor. Yes, we've not got the oldest squad in the world, but you can see Saka struggling a bit. We've got to make that decision in centre midfield, and you know what? He scored off the bench on Thursday. Devine will go centre mid, and we're going to put Cole Palmer as the number 10. I'm going to leave Saka in on the left for now. I'm not going to make an immediate decision there. We might well have to judge that in game. We've got Rio Williams there as an option. Let's go and get into it though. It is one change from the last 11. Devine drops to centre mid. Palmer goes number 10, the substitute and hero. And out goes Hodgkinson. It's a good opportunity to win a trophy. And if we do get offered another job, at least this will be a spectacular way to finish. Well, only one change for Italy. Again, a benefit of having 4 days off. Tonali does start, but look at that young attack. We mentioned Palermo and Borelli. They've got quality in defence. Donnarumma, a statesman in goal for them. But most of that experience is on the bench. The other 2 keepers, Bastoni, Esposito, none of them regular starters. So let's have a look at the dressing room. If you carry on the last match, you'll do all right. Where are we playing this game? That's what I want to know. Through the tunnel interview, into the final. It's not at the Watford Stadium again, is it? Surely not. No, there's an attendance of 40,100. I've got to find out, sorry. Where is this match being played? It is at the David Seaman Arena, which is being played by Leicester. Whoa, 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 whoa. Am I missing something here? David Seaman didn't play for Leicester, did he? What on earth is going on? The Belgium-Italy game was there. We've now got a bit of side note. Why is the Leicester Stadium named after David Seaman? Has he managed them? Has he been involved with them? Or am I just a little too old to remember something? He's not been the manager. I am confused. Officially, I am confused. Let me know down in the comments. What have I missed? Older viewers among you might just be telling me something obvious now. France won the 3rd place playoff against Belgium. But what will we do against Italy? 15 gone. It's been a quiet game. Let's see who gets on top. Well, officially, that was a pretty awful first half. No shots on target for Italy. 2 for us, but a very low expected goals. And now an injury to Cole Palmer. So we might have to go back to our old midfield here. You can see a lot of tired legs very early in this second half. And that's going to be a worry for us because other players are playing poorly as Kelleher charges forward. Is it going to be a strong finish again? You've got the feeling, with the way the games have fallen, Italy might have the advantage here. We're going to take Palmer off. Devine will go number 10. And we'll go for those fresh legs in the middle of Hodgkinson. He's a bit younger. He's still got quality. He's just not used to the big games. And the only way he's going to get that ahead of the Euros is by playing now. We've gone past the hour mark. We've got to make more changes, but who do we go for? Saka is knackered and playing poorly on the left wing, so Rio Williams is on for him. And then do we go for Tezgel? It's a very big question. I think I'm going to gamble it. Tezgel might drop in as the number 10. Does that potentially work here? Yes, it does. Tezgel number 10. Up front, we will go for Chris Lewis, and we'll see if that works out. It's a gamble. We're putting 2 strikers on. We're being aggressive. It's a much younger team now. It's a much less experienced one. And Italy will be looking to take advantage. As we zoom in, no idea why it's gone out so far. And they've got to throw attacking on the left. They're not in a rush to take it. Palermo delivers the ball. It's brilliant. And Bernardi heads it wide. We know how good that Palermo is. And he almost delivered the decisive moment. They've still not had a shot on target with 15 to go. But they're definitely coming back into it. We're going to encourage the lads. I don't know if we have extra time or if we're straight to pens. But if there's another 30, we're in big trouble. As out on the right, Palermo flies in there. Clousdale keeps it. He's one of those who can barely move. And it comes back out on the right. He crosses in. Great ball to Chris Lewis. Oh, our former Palace man nearly won us the trophy. Hedge just over the bar. It clipped the woodwork on its way over. But it's still 0-0. Cloudesdale is knackered. Bellingham the same. The back four are on their last legs too. But we're still going. And Italy must be in a similar position. No one's match fit. We've had a month since the end of the domestic season. And Lewis is in off the bench. He's got the pace, but he's not got the finish. It's wide of the post yet again. It stays 0-0. And we are going to regret that surely. Two brilliant chances to win it. Both of them have fallen to Chris Lewis. But we've got a corner with 15 seconds left. If we score it, there's no time for a reply. Roberts down for Tezgel. Bellingham, big curling effort just over. And there are the 4 minutes up. Please go straight to penalties. No, it's extra time. Do we take off Bellingham or Cloudesdale? They are the two most tired players. Cloudesdale is playing pretty well. Bellingham is as well, but the centre of midfield is so hard if you can't run. We've got Kelleher struggling as well. I'm going to go for the right winger. We're going to bring on, do I go Ben Hames or do I go Harvey Elliott? Right, I've decided. Elliott is going to go number 10. We are going to bring Tezgel back up front, Lewis out to the right, Cloudesdale off for Harvey Elliott. That is the decision. A bit of experience on, bit of guile in that number 10 position, and hopefully someone who can take a penalty too, which is maybe something I should have looked at. We've had 10 minutes of extra time. There has been nothing in it. And there's a lot of yellow cards in extra time. Look at us. 4 we've picked up in 20 minutes there. We're coming down the right with Lewis, and we've got 3 minutes to win it. Cleared by Scotta to Schiano. He clears long downfield. Held up by Pret. He finds Scalvini in the middle. Big switch. The defence is in no man's land. Kelleher can't get back. Bernardi's in. Italy could win it. Italy do win it. It's a disaster. We've done it in the final again. Conte did it against the Netherlands. We have done it against Italy. We'll go attacking and we'll encourage, but I don't think we've got anything left. I thought we might get a penalty there. Rio Williams goes down, but it's soft, and Bernardi brings it away. But every time he runs forward, our defence can't keep up. He's gone the whole distance himself. No one's challenged him. His shot eventually goes over. It will be an Italy win by 1-0. They've done what the Italians do best. They've defended the box. They've kept on the counter. And they've managed to nick a goal. And unfortunately, we just didn't have the legs for it. That extra day off has really cost us because Italy have been able to recover and we haven't. And when it goes to extra time, when Lewis misses those 2 chances in the second half, it's ended up being costly. Donnarumma playing out from the back to Scotta, and Schiano carries it forward. It's over now. They're doing exactly what you would expect a top side to do. Kelleher does well this time. Back to Smith. But it's too little too late. Parsons plays out to Kelleher. Got to go long now. Finds Elliott. Turns inside. Looks for the ball over. He's not going to find it in time, is he? The final whistle goes. Italy win it. Not sure why we didn't see a trophy lift there. Chris Lewis has a shocking match rating. Had to score one of those chances. And at full time, a very even game finishes with a 1-0 Italy win. They have got the trophy. I'm pretty sure of that. Unfortunately, it's failure with England. And for the Euros and the World Cup potentially ahead, that isn't a good sign. Well, we're back to where we started, aren't we? If a big club job comes along, do we take it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Doesn't have to be Liverpool exclusive, but if we get a big job offer in one of the big European leagues, do you think I should move now? I think those last 2 results and performances, especially if you consider against France as well, they were both even matches. We are not guaranteed to win a Euros or a World Cup. I kind of miss the day-to-day of club management. I'm not sure whether it's the right move or not, but we've seen before in other editions, and we've seen this year, these elite job offers don't come along often, and we might not get one after that interview either. If it comes along, do I take it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this episode, more final heartbreak for England, and again at the hands of the Italians, then please do put a thumbs up on it. I'm sure my regular Scots in here will not be disappointed to see what's happened in this one. If you want to stay up to date, see what my decision is in 2 days' time, then subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Of course, in the meantime, we're back with more club football tomorrow, that in our Build a Nation save with Distillery. It was a decisive final couple of games of the season in that one, and you can find the latest video from yesterday up in the eye above. Also, there is the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and the blog story as well. But thank you very much for watching as always. Your support is appreciated. I'm going to need your help to make this decision. We'll be back in a couple of days' time to find out what it is.